I welcome you all to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about coordinate geometry. This is our first lesson and it is going to be public on YouTube so that we give chance to those that could like to start the tuitions with us. So next week, also this week, all the lessons will be done public on YouTube. So all our lessons will be visible to everyone on YouTube. So let us now see and start. So for those that could like to start lessons with me in mathematics and science, just call me on this number 0971 06 6747. This is the number that you can call me or WhatsApp me. So we are starting coordinate geometry, and if you are new to this platform, this is my official YouTube channel. Let's make sure we subscribe. So we are talking about coordinate geometry. Under coordinate geometry, there are a few things that you need to know, and there are a few things that you need to understand. So in today's lesson, we are going to talk about gradient, how to find the gradient. These are two things, gradient and equation. It is called equation of a straight line. How to find gradient and equation of a line. This is what we are going to talk about. So we are going to learn how to find the gradient and equation of a line. This is the first thing that we are going to start with. So how do you find the gradient? How can you find the gradient? So let's say you are given 2 points. You are given 2 points. So these are the 2 points which you are given. So let's say you are given these 2 points. So I'm going to say, they are saying that if A is a point, this is a point 6,3, and B is a point negative 2,1. We've got 2 questions here. First one, find A. We are told to find gradient. We are told to find the gradient. So the first question, we are told to find the gradient of AB. Secondly, we are told to find the equation. We are told to find the equation of the line AB. So these are the 2 questions that we are going to talk about. So you need to make sure that you've bought yourself a book where you'll be writing all these things that we'll be sharing, all these things that I'll be teaching you. You need to make sure that you've bought a book for yourself, a new book. So we are saying that if A is having this coordinate and B is having this coordinate, then the first question is saying find the gradient. They want you to find the gradient. You find the what? The gradient. Gradient of what? Gradient of AB. So how can you find the gradient of AB? How can you find the gradient of AB? You need to get the 2 coordinates which are given. Get the 2 coordinates which are given. So we've got A, coordinate A is what? 6,3. We also have B. B is what? Negative 2,1. These are the 2 coordinates which are given. So these are the 2 coordinates which we are given. So after reaching here, you need to know the formula now. So the formula, this is the formula that we use. You say gradient, the symbol for gradient is M. So under coordinate geometry, whenever you just see M, just know that it is the gradient. So gradient is what? Y2 minus Y1 over what? x2 minus x1. This is the formula that we get to use. So this is the formula that you also need to understand. So where is x1? Where is y1 coming from? It's coming from here. This is x1. This is y1. This is x2. This is y2. Like this. These are the y1, y2. So now we need to substitute. So we substitute. How do we substitute mathematically? So you say this is m is equal to, m is the gradient. What is your y2? Your y2 is that one, which is 1 minus. What is your y1? It is 3. So you put a 3 there. Where you say over. What is your x2? What is your x2? x2, that is x2. Negative 2 minus. What is your x1? x1, it is 6. This is what you are going to do. Then you say this is equal to, this is equal to. This is equal to what? 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3, it is negative what? Negative 2. Over. What is negative 2 minus 8? What you need to know is that same signs, you need to add, then maintain the sign. So you add, that is 8, the sign is negative. So negative will cancel out. What are you going to have? So 2 into 2, it is 1. So we've got 1 over. 2 into 8, it is 4. So we've got 1 over 4 as our gradient. This comes in paper 1. So you need to make sure that you pay much attention to this, how I'm working it. So the first question, we were just taught to find the gradient. So we were just taught to find the what? The gradient. So this is our gradient. This is our gradient. That's how we find the gradient. So whenever you are taught to find the gradient, these are steps and procedures that you need to do for you to find the gradient. Then question B. We go to question B. Question B is saying what? Equation of the line AB. So they want you to find the equation of the line AB. How can you find the equation of the line AB? How can you find the equation of the line AB? What are some of the things you need to do for you to find the equation of the line AB? So I want you to get this. For you to find the equation of the line AB, you need to ask yourself, do you have the gradient, which is m? Do you have the gradient for AB? This is the first thing that should come to your mind. Do you have the gradient for AB? If you don't have the gradient for AB, so m is the gradient. Hope no one is confused. I told you that when I write m like this is for gradient. So do you have the gradient for AB? The answer is yes, you have. What is your gradient? Your gradient is equal to, gradient is what? 1 over 4. That is the gradient which we have. Then the next thing that you need to ask yourself, do you know the equation for all straight lines? Do you know the equation for all straight lines? The answer is yes. So what do? You say y minus y1 is equal to m open bracket x minus x1. This is the equation for all straight lines. So we have two equations, but I want you to be used to this one because in all my lessons, I'll be using this one. So I don't want you to be confused where today I use this one, tomorrow I use the other one. I want you to be used to this one. So make sure you know how to go about this one and how you can answer it. So this is what you need to do. So have you seen this y here and this x here? I haven't said this is y1, this is x1. No, they are standing independent on their own. Meaning these ones, you just leave them the way they are. Then the y1 and the x1, they are coming from here where you said, when finding the gradient, where you said y1, x1. That's where they are coming from. The gradient which is here, this is the gradient there. So what you need to do from here is very simple. You just say y minus, what is your y1? You check, y1 is what? 3. This is a 3. So you say 3 is equal to, so 3 is equal to, what is your gradient? 1 over 4. X maintains, minus, what is your x1? x1, 6. It is a 6. You put a 6 there. This is what you are going to do. So this is a 1 which is here, like this. Then you say this 3 will move to the other side of the equation. So we are going to have y is equal to 1 over 4 times x. It's 1 over 4. 1 over 4 x. 1 over 4 times negative 6. So it is the numerator that gets to multiply. Get this. We always use the numerator to multiply. 1 times 6. It is 6. Over what? Over 4. So the 4 will maintain. The 4 will maintain. So numerator gets to multiply. Then the denominator, which is a 4, will maintain. So this is what you need to know and understand. This 3 here, which I said to move here, so it is negative. When it comes here, it becomes positive. So it is going to become positive because it has crossed this equal to sign. From here now, what are some of the things that you are going to do? So from here, what we are going to do is this. This is what we are going to do. So from here, this is what we are going to do. From here, we are going to do this. We say y is equal to what? 1 over 4 x. Then this part which is here, this part, you bring it here. You solve it privately on a separate paper like this. Plus what? Plus 3. So you say over 1. What is the common denominator here? Where 4 and 1 can go into, it is 4. 4 into 4, it is 1. 1 times negative 6, we've got negative 6. You say plus, there is plus there. 1 into 4, it is 4. 4 times 3, it is 12. So finally, what is your answer? Negative 6 plus 12. I told you that different signs you subtract. So I remember previously I said that same signs you add, then maintain the sign. So here now you've got different signs. Different signs you subtract, then maintain the sign of a bigger number. So you subtract, then you maintain the sign of a bigger number. So let's subtract 12 minus 6. It is 6. Maintain the sign of a bigger number. 12 is having a positive. So this one is positive. Over the 4 will maintain. So you can reduce this one. 2 there, it is 3. 2 there, it is 2. 2 into 6, it is 3. 2 into 4, it is 2. So the answer is what? The answer is positive, which is 3 over 2. You just say plus 3 over 2. This is the equation that you need to have. So I want you to know this, and I want you to get this. This is the way that you need to be answering any question that may come. So I've taught you how to find the gradient and the equation of the line. How to find the gradient and the equation of the line. So this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to understand. So now, let us now move to the other way in which a question can come. They can come in two ways. So I want you to understand this, and I want you to get the other way of answering. So let us now look at our example 2. Hope you've understood this. You know all the concepts and how to go about this one. Let us look at another question, which is our example 2. This is our example 2. So it is saying that given that 2x minus 7y minus 1 is equal to 0, find the gradient of the equation. So you want to find the gradient of the equation. How can you find the gradient of the equation? How can you find the gradient of the equation? This is very simple. So whenever you see such a question in an exam, the first thing that you need to do is to write the equation. This is the equation: y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation that you need to remember in an exam. So whenever you are given an equation, and from the equation given, you are told to find the gradient, you need to make sure that you express the given equation in this standard. So this is the standard that you need to follow. So you need to make sure that you express that given equation in this standard. In other words, what you need to do, you need to make y the subject of the formula. This is what you need to do. Have you seen y has been made the subject of the formula? So this is what you need to do also. So what you are going to do is that you are going to say you are given that equation. This is 2x minus 7y minus 1, which is equal to 0. So you want to make y the subject of the formula. So what are you supposed to do? This y should remain alone. So meaning these numbers, this one and that one, will go to the other side of the equation. So you are going to have negative 7y is equal to, so when this one comes this side, it becomes negative 2x. This is negative 1. When it comes this side, it becomes positive 1. So this is what we have remained with. Since you want to make y the subject of the formula, you divide both sides by negative 7 throughout, negative 7 throughout. This is what you need to do. So you divide throughout by negative 7, such that these two are going to cancel out. You are going to remain with y is equal to negative, and the negative will cancel out. You are going to remain with a 2x over 7. Then this negative into positive, it is negative 1 over 7. As you can see, we've expressed this equation in that standard. This is what I've done. The x is x there. The c there, it is a constant. That is a constant. So our constant here, it's negative 1 over 7. This is the constant. This one, the m here is the gradient. What I told you at first, m is the gradient. So gradient is equal to this one, which is having x. X is here. So 2 over 7. 2 over 7. This is your what? This is your gradient. So that is how you need to know how to find the gradient. You just need to make the subject of the formula. So once you make the subject of the formula, this one that is going to have x, just know that it is the what? It is the gradient. You just pick, you can't pick x here, no. Just pick the number, So it can be like this: y is equal to negative 1 over 7 plus 2x over 7. It can be like this. Don't say the sir had to get the first one. So in this case, I'm going to get negative 1 over 7. No. Check where there is x. That's what you need to do. So you need to get that one. 2 over what? Over 7. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to get. This is what you need to follow. So you always get this one that is having x here. So these are things that I want you to know. These are things that I want you to understand. It can be in front here. As long as there is no x, that's not the gradient. Understand this. So this is what you need to know and understand. I want you to get this and understand this. So let us now look at the last example. Then I give you the exercise. I see how we are going to perform in the exercise, if people have understood or not. So let me give you the exercise. So before I give you the exercise, let us now look at our example 3. This is our example 3, the last example. Then I give you an exercise which we are going to do. So I'm going to upload the exercise in the group. Okay, so what we are going to do here, the question is saying, find k if the gradient of a, which is 3, k, and b, 2, 6, is, so I'm going to say, is what? Is 4. So how can you find the gradient of this? How can you find the gradient of this? How can we find the value of k? How can we find the value of k? This is very simple. You need to know the formula for gradient. We need to learn how to find the gradient. You say gradient is equal to, what's the formula? So let's repeat this together. What's the formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the formula for gradient. So just to get the data which is given, you just put a simple data here. You are given the gradient, that the gradient is what? The gradient is 4. This is what you are given. You are also given coordinates 3, k and 2, 6. This is what we are given. So we want to find the value of what? We want to find the value of k. So just the matter of substituting. So you start substituting. What is your gradient? 4. So you put your 4 there, which is equal to, this one will be x1, y1, x2, y2. So what is your y2? 6. Minus, what is your y1? K. Over, what is your x2? What is the x2? X2, what is the x2? X2, where is x2? 2 there. Minus, where is x1? X1 is here, 3. Like this. Then you say 4 is equal to, you cannot subtract these. Why? Because these are unlike terms. So 6 minus 4 will maintain. Then you say over. What is 2 minus 3? You get negative 1. Here you say over 1, then you cross multiply. So we cross multiply. 4 times negative 1, you get negative 4. Which is equal to 6 minus k. Like this. This is now an equation that we need to solve. That has now become an equation, a simple equation. Just a matter of grouping of like terms. So this is negative 4. This one is 6. When it comes inside, it's negative 6, which is equal to negative k. This is negative k. The sign of every number is in front of that number. This is what you need to do. The sign of that number is in front of that number. So 6 is having a positive here. You cannot say 6, the sign is negative. No, this negative is to a k. So it is a k that is having a negative. From here you say, what is negative 4 minus 6? Negative 10, which is equal to negative k. You divide both sides by negative 1 so that you cancel that negative which is attached to a k. Negative 1. Negative, negative cancelled. You say k now is equal to, what is negative, negative cancelled? You've got a 10. So this is the value of k, which is what? Which is 10. So this is what you need to do, and these are procedures that you need to follow. So let's make sure we get this, we understand this, we know all the concepts that we need to know, so that if a question like this comes in an exam, we are able to answer such a question. So this is where we are going to end from. Let me now give you a question that you are going to do. I give you a question, I test your knowledge if you have understood what I've just shared with you. So for those that are starting tuitions, this is a public video. So for those that have managed to access this video and could like to join my online tuitions, it's very affordable. Just need to call me or WhatsApp me on this line 0971 06 6747. This is my number. You can call me on this line. Thank you so much. Those of you under my online tuitions, the work is waiting in the group. Let's attempt it, submit. I see how we are handling this and how we are improving. Thank you so much.